A single dad fell asleep on his boss's shoulder. What happened next changed everything. The moment Daniel's exhausted head slipped onto his boss's shoulder, time seemed to stop. The airplane cabin hummed softly as passengers rested during the late-night flight. Daniel never meant for it to happen. He had fought sleep for hours, blinking against the heavy weight of exhaustion. But after months of sleepless nights, endless responsibilities, and carrying the entire world on his shoulders, his body finally surrendered. His eyes closed, his head tilted, and before he realized it, he was asleep against the woman sitting beside him, his boss. What happened in the hours that followed would change his life forever. Before we begin, take a moment to like, comment, share, and subscribe to Echoes of Kindness if you believe kindness, compassion, and second chances can change someone's life. Stories like this remind us that even the smallest act of understanding can create a miracle. Daniel Carter was 36 years old, a hardworking employee at a large marketing company. To most people, he looked like an ordinary man trying to build a career. But behind the tired smile and wrinkled shirts was a battle nobody could see. 3 years earlier, Daniel had lost his wife, Emily, after a sudden illness. One ordinary morning, she was laughing in the kitchen. A few months later, she was gone. The loss shattered him. But there was no time to fall apart completely because he had a 6-year-old daughter named Lily who depended on him for everything. Every morning started before sunrise. Daniel prepared breakfast, packed lunches, helped Lily get dressed, dropped her at school, rushed to work, stayed late to meet deadlines, picked her up, made dinner, cleaned the apartment, helped with homework, and somehow found the strength to smile through it all. Most nights, he slept less than 4 hours. Bills piled up. Childcare costs increased. Unexpected expenses appeared every month. His savings disappeared slowly. Some nights, after Lily fell asleep, Daniel sat alone at the kitchen table staring at unpaid bills while wondering how much longer he could keep everything together. At work, he never complained. His boss, Victoria Reynolds, was known for being strict, successful, and demanding. Employees respected her but rarely felt close to her. She expected excellence and tolerated very few excuses. Daniel admired her professionalism, but he always feared disappointing her. When the company announced an important business trip across the country, Daniel almost declined. Leaving Lily even for 2 days felt impossible. But the project was critical, and refusing wasn't really an option. After arranging childcare with an elderly neighbor and preparing everything for Lily, he boarded the flight feeling emotionally and physically drained. For the first hour of the flight, he reviewed presentation notes. Then he answered emails. Then he checked messages from home. Lily had sent him a photo she drew at school. Under a picture of the two of them holding hands, she had written, "You're the best daddy in the world." Daniel stared at the drawing for several minutes. The tears forming in his eyes weren't from sadness. They came from exhaustion, love, and the overwhelming pressure of trying to be enough. Eventually, sleep won. Without realizing it, his head slowly rested against Victoria's shoulder. Several nearby passengers noticed. One expected her to wake him immediately. Another expected her to move away. But she didn't. Instead, Victoria glanced at Daniel's face and saw something she had never noticed before. She saw a man who looked completely exhausted. The dark circles under his eyes. The stress lines across his forehead. The expression of someone who had been carrying too much for too long. For the next 2 hours, she remained perfectly still. She didn't wake him. She didn't complain. She simply allowed him to rest. When Daniel finally woke up, he froze in horror. The realization hit him instantly. He sat upright so quickly that he nearly dropped his phone. Embarrassment flooded his face. He apologized repeatedly, expecting anger, disappointment, or at least discomfort. Instead, Victoria surprised him. She smiled. For the first time since he had known her, her expression softened. During the remainder of the flight, she asked questions, not about work, but about life. Daniel hesitated at first. Then, little by little, he shared his story. He spoke about Emily. He spoke about Lily. He spoke about the endless struggle of balancing grief, fatherhood, and survival. Victoria listened quietly. What Daniel didn't know was that years earlier, she had experienced loss herself. She understood loneliness more than anyone in the office realized. For the first time, she wasn't seeing an employee. She was seeing a human being. The business trip ended successfully, and Daniel assumed life would continue as usual. But the following Monday, everything changed. Victoria called him into her office. His stomach twisted with anxiety. Instead of criticism, she handed him a proposal. The company was launching a new leadership position, and she wanted him to lead the project. The promotion came with a significant salary increase, flexible working hours, and the ability to work remotely several days each week. Daniel was speechless. Victoria explained that his dedication, perseverance, and work ethic had impressed her for years. The flight simply revealed the sacrifices he had been making behind the scenes. For the first time in years, Daniel felt hope. The extra income allowed him to pay off debt. The flexible schedule gave him more time with Lily. He attended school events he had previously missed. He helped with homework without feeling rushed. He laughed more. He slept more. And most importantly, he started healing. Months later, Lily stood on a stage during a school assembly. Students were asked to talk about their heroes. Some chose athletes. Some chose celebrities. Lily chose her father. With a trembling voice, she described a man who worked hard every day, never gave up, and loved her more than anything in the world. As Daniel sat in the audience, tears streamed down his face. In that moment, every sleepless night felt worth it. Every sacrifice mattered. Every struggle had meaning. And it all started with one unexpected act of kindness on an airplane. If this story touched your heart, please like, comment, share, and subscribe to Echoes of Kindness. Your support helps spread stories that remind people there is still goodness in the world. Special request, comment below with the words, "Kindness changes lives," if you believe one small act of compassion can completely transform someone's future. Sometimes life doesn't change because of grand gestures. Sometimes it changes because someone notices your pain when everyone else is too busy to look. A tired father fell asleep on his boss's shoulder that night, expecting embarrassment when he woke up. Instead, he found understanding. And in a world where kindness often feels rare, that understanding became the beginning of a brand new life.